Well, we have a great set of numbers coming in from Jubilant FoodWorks. They've actually gone on registered a 46% rise in its revenues at around 282 crores. They also registered a 53% rise in its profits at around 28 crores. But to enumerate more and giving us more details as to what has actually gone behind this result, we have the CFO of Jubilant FoodWorks, Mr. Ravi Gupta, joining us. Good morning, Mr. Gupta. My first question to you is that considering we have had such a spectacular quarter going in as far as Q4 is concerned, what are the reasons that you attribute to such a good quarter?
Actually, all the factors which has been continuing for the all 8 quarters, last 8-9 quarters, which is operational excellence, our robust supply chain, our innovative marketing strategies, new product introduction and product innovation, great employee teams or committed employee teams, I will say, which have been empowered. All these factors have been working in favor of us. And little bit elaboration if I do in terms of marketing strategies, we go deeper in our database and churn the database, all the past database, and make programs for our consumers so that the frequencies and penetration of them keeps on increasing quarter after quarter. And that has been a success mantra for last 8 quarters and the robust growth which we had in this quarter as well.
So your margins have been reasonably high for a few quarters now. Do you expect to maintain these margins? And also if you could enumerate the challenges in this regard going into the next quarter.
See, when you look at last 3 years, our margins have expanded about 600 basis points. In FY10, they've expanded by about 300 basis points approximately. In FY11, they've expanded by 200 basis points, and the last financial, they've expanded by 100 basis points. So they've been consistently on the rise because our same-store growth is also growing. Our system growth for last 5 years has been in the range of 48 to 50%. We believe that 18.7% margin which you achieved in the FY12 are sustainable. We have measures for cost containment across the organization, and we believe that with all these efforts which we have all across, we can sustain this margins at the healthy levels, and 18.7% is the margin which is sustainable. And going forward, we can also grow the margins for 2 reasons. One is, as the ratio of the old store to new stores keeps on growing, the margins would be better as more mature stores are being in operation. Second factor is SG&A and economies of scales will keep on driving margins up as they provide great leverage to us as we grow, because we have been growing at 48 to 50% CAGR.
Mr. Gupta, can you also tell us about how wheat and dairy prices have been for the quarter, and what is your outlook on these going forth?
See, the dairy price specifically has been stable during Q4, and probably last quarter also we discussed that we expected dairy prices to stabilize for some time, because the milk supply has been pretty good, and that is the reason there is a little bit stability in the dairy prices. And when you look at 2 years or 3 years back, the dairy prices have got inflated quite a lot. But we believe that overall food inflation would continue to be robust, and maybe it will continue kind of high single digit number. It will continue in the year this year.
Do you also expect raw material costs in general to be higher in the coming quarters, and how do you plan to pass these on to the customers?
See, first of all, what we do is, in terms of raw material, whenever there is an inflation, we go back to our business partner. We tell them that since we have been growing at this 48 to 50% CAGR, it means a similar kind of volume growth for our business partners. So there are economies of scale which they get when they invest more money in their business to supply the more product to us, which part of the economies of scale get passed back to us, which means a reduced impact of inflation is there on us. This reduced impact of inflation we do pass on to the consumer, and consistently we have been doing it. But you look at, we do not pass all the impact of the inflation. In fact, our raw material cost as a percentage has gone up from FY11 to FY12, which means we have absorbed part of the inflation, but despite that we have delivered better EBITDA margins to our investors.
Can you also elaborate on the expansion plans in Domino's and how you'll be going about expanding stores as well as franchising?
In terms of Domino's India, we plan to open about 90 stores in FY13, having opened 87 stores in the just concluded year. In terms of Dunkin' also, which have recently been officially launched, we plan to open another 10 stores during this year. And now talking about Sri Lanka also, we'll open about 5-6 stores. In Sri Lanka today we have about 2 stores. So in and all, if I total about 100 stores, 90 of Domino's and 10 of Dunkin', and about 5-6 stores further for Domino's in Sri Lanka, this is all expansion plan we have. Now second question you had is in terms of franchising. We keep on reviewing whether we will franchise or not every year, but as of now our stores are generating great returns. And we want to consolidate value in-house, and as a result, we plan to open all the stores of our own and not franchise our stores.
And my final question to you is, Mr. Gupta, if you could tell us a little more about your plans for Dunkin' Donuts going forth.
I shared with you that we will open about 10 stores. All these 10 stores will be concentrated around NCR. And going forward, in about 5 years, we will open about 80 to 100 stores across India, various cities. Now, in Dunkin' Donuts, our offering to the consumer is all-day part food offering. Now, I can divide the product category in 3 broad categories, you can say. First and foremost, it is coffee and beverages. Now, Dunkin' Donuts, as you might be aware, is leading baked goods and coffee chain across the world, and in America they are running a campaign that America runs on Dunkin', that talks a lot about their coffee, and all this coffee range which they have we have introduced to in India, starting with original drip coffee, latte, cappuccino, all those varieties. And considering the tropical climate India has, we have also introduced whole range of cold beverages in India, starting with patented colata, cold coffees, smoothies, and milkshakes, and all this with Indian versions of like Indian taste, like Alfonso Mango, Lychee, and so on. Second category is donuts, which we launch, and you know, worldwide Dunkin' Donut is a leader in this category for over 60 years now. So we have introduced a whole range of internationally recognized donuts in India. And third category is what we call as all-day part offering, which is leveraged by sandwiches. We have all-day part sandwiches, and this is the area where our team have done a great work in working on a product which is Western in structure but Indianized in taste. So we have a whole range of sandwiches for all-day part, and that is going to our strategy that we will offer both beverages as well as the food in our restaurant of the Dunkin's.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. Well, that was the CFO of Jubilant FoodWorks, and that is a wrap on the Earnings Day Edge. Let's take a short break, but on the other side we have Jim Walker joining us on Market Guru.